What screams I make terrible financial decisions. I used to work at GameStop. I had a customer that bought a PlayStation because a particular exclusive game came out for it, then would trade the system and game in to buy an Xbox when a new exclusive for it came out about a month later, and would go back and forth trading the respective consoles and games in every few months. I tried to convince him to just own each system and buy the games for each when they released because he was losing so much money doing what he was doing. His response was that he couldn't afford to buy both at the same time. I didn't have the brightest customers. Buying something really expensive like a motorcycle or a nice rifle, then deciding you're tired of it and reselling it for half the price only a week later. I knew a guy who did exactly that. It was astonishing. It's like, dude, you just lost thousands. I tried to help a friend of mine with math once. She was going over compound interest and had recently bought a car. So I'm like, oh, perfect example. How much was the sticker price on your car? Her, I don't know. Me, you don't know how much your car cost? Her, I pay $200 every 2 weeks. Me, okay. For how long? Her, I don't know. Me, you have no idea how long you need to pay for your car, or how much it actually cost. You just know $200 every 2 weeks. Her, yeah. Me, makes sad face. Edit, I've never had so many replies to a comment, so I'll add details here. 1. Friend is/was young. I think this was her first car. 2. I didn't ask why it was every 2 weeks and not monthly. I seriously doubt she would have known the answer. 3. Car was bought used, I assume from one of the scummier used car salesmen. 4. I know that she has missed payments on it several times, so she was probably a very high risk borrower, which may or may not explain the larger and more frequent payments. 5. No idea if the loan was compound or simple interest, but in context it would not have mattered. I just wanted to use it as a real-life example of interest to help her understand all the variables in the formulas. This is a great example. I didn't realize how many people must do this. I bought a truck years ago and after test driving it, I told the salesman that I would buy it if, after my trade in the loan on the new, used but new to me, truck was $10,000 or less. He agreed. They wrote up my paperwork and they say, hey, the payment is only $30. That's less than what you were looking for. Isn't that great? So I replied, yeah, but what's the total loan amount? Oh, I don't know, I'd have to look. So he digs through the docs and the loan was like $12,000. I pretty much told them get bent or take $2,000 off that loan amount. They ended up dropping it down to the $10,000 I told them I was willing to pay. I'm assuming, however, that many people wouldn't have given the loan amount a second thought after hearing the payment was lower than what they were expecting. This but with phones. Dude, your phone is old. You should get the new iPhone 10. Do I look like I have $1,000 to burn? But it's only $24.99 after trade-in. Do people not realize how contracts work? In Western Australia it looks like this. Get laid off by mining company that was initially paying you well, specifically because it isn't a secure position, but never mind that. Already taken out $600K plus loan on a house, a $80,000 loan on a sick V8 Commodore, plus another $10,000 putting in performance cams and a straight-through exhaust so you can pull mad skids. This is all on the justification that I'll be able to smash these loans out in a couple years on this salary. Phew. What to do now? What's that? Tickets to Bali are $300 return. Better take the family for a boost fuel cheap shit buying bonanza. It's fine, we'll just remortgage the house. Dead fucking easy. I used to know a guy who was renowned for making bad decisions in general. To be fair, he was funny and had a heart of gold. He just wasn't a logical thinker. He never had any savings. He was always buying his girlfriend of the month pretty/expensive things, and always mooching off his mom. One of the more flawed decisions that has always stuck with me was when his car broke down. It was a piece of junk, so it was bound to happen, no biggie. He was feeling pretty blue because of it, as well as a collection of other things that had happened around the same time, largely through his own choices. So he decided that in order to finally become a winner, he needed to look and feel like a winner. And do you know what makes you look and feel like a winner? Owning a brand new Chrysler. He was so excited about it, he could feel good things coming his way already. He'd picked the one he wanted, $70,000 odd. He'd spoken to the dealer and organized when he was going to come in and do the paperwork. Everything was looking great for him. Then when he went to the dealership to sort it all out, it turned out that he hadn't been in his current job for long enough, so the loan/finance, which he elected to do through the dealership, couldn't be approved. He came back looking pretty defeated, but, in my opinion, being declined that loan was one of the luckiest things to ever happen to him. This man should not be in charge of his own money. Unable to remember what they wrote checks for and/or unwilling to write down what they wrote checks for, my boss's charity just sent out the legally required receipts for charitable donations. Each receipt says thank you for your donation of X to charity name. It's so people can list it as a charitable donation on their taxes, and so we have a list in the event of an audit. I have fielded no fewer than a dozen calls this week along the lines of what is this receipt for? I didn't write a check. And no one is polite about it either. They're all in full-blown panic mode. I have photocopies of their checks with the check numbers, which I sent them. Suddenly they remember that check they wrote all of a week ago, but somehow never wrote down in their checkbook or whatever system they use. Seriously people, pay attention. I'm a bank teller and we get calls daily from people who need us to go over the checks that have come out of their account, who they were written to, and the amounts. Just write them down. And if you need to know which ones have come out, wait for your statement. Don't write checks you don't have the money for, and you won't have to worry about whether or not a check has been paid. Edit. I've gotten enough replies about carbon copies/duplicates that I'm gonna put my general response here. Most of the clients that do this are seniors with senior checking accounts. Those accounts get free standard checks, which unfortunately do not come with duplicates. It'd be probably $10 USD 15 to upgrade, but usually they prefer free. Asking your friends on FB for $250 to pay your bills, then post pics the next day of you at the movie theater with $40 of snacks. I have a friend who asks to borrow more than she actually needs so that she can still go out and party. For example, she may only need $200 but will ask for $300 so that she has an extra $100 to buy booze and party with. Edit. A lot of you are asking if she pays back. She has always paid me back. Not sure about the many others, but wouldn't be surprised, but not when she says she will. It took her nearly 3 months. 3 months after the date she told me she would be able to pay me back. To pay me back $100. I've also witnessed her borrow money from someone to pay back someone else. I have reason to believe that she doesn't pay some of her family back like her mom or brother because they always give it to her no matter what. She always borrows money from people. It's a regular, weekly thing for her. I have a friend who has $95,000 in student loan debt, $23,000 credit card debt and a $50,000 wedding on the horizon. Her dad pays for her school loan. He is paying for the wedding. The original budget was $30,000. Got raised to $50,000. Here's the kicker. He said he'll give you $50,000 for a down payment on a house or $50,000 for your wedding. She picked the wedding. Infuriating. Edit. Yes. Her dad will absolutely pay for the down payment on her future house. It makes me yuck. Didn't expect to hear so much in response. This might get ranty because I just need to vent it out. One of my colleagues is probably the nicest man on the planet. He's kind, considerate and loyal. You couldn't write a movie script for a better person. No Rhodes Scholar, but very hardworking and liked by everyone. Almost every person in his life takes horrendous advantage of him. I can tell that he deeply fears being rejected by his loved ones and craves their approval and acceptance, but it has crossed a line. They have a joint income of over $150,000, and yet are circling the drain in debt and can barely pay any bills. They live in credit. His wife is usually a decent person, but when she says jump, he asks how high. This has resulted in numerous luxury shopping trips, her mother moving in and being a complete leech on their lives, vacations, and they just had to buy 2 brand new vehicles last year with all the bells and whistles. They can barely pay the mortgage and the house is a mid-sized fixer-upper. At least every week or two he comes in and I force out of him the latest thing they spent way too much money on. Almost everything is on pay installments, even their utility bills. He pays for 5 cell phones. He usually can't drive his truck because there is no gas in it. In the summer we have barbecues every week for about $3, $5. Hot dogs are cheaper than burgers. And there are times he doesn't have the $3. A 45-year-old man with a 6-figure income doesn't have $3 2 days after payday. Thankfully his kids are clueless that there is a problem, as it should be. They are kids and don't need adult problems. They get whatever they need for school. My concern is that one day the bubble will burst. Repo companies will come in. Creditors are calling. They are precariously close to the edge at all times. All I can do is encourage him to get therapy and learn to say no. But I can't force it. Edit. Lots of good advice from people coming in. Good to hear from people on the other side of the fence. It's giving me a new perspective. His youngest 2 kids are preteens. Not sure I want to tell them about the magnitude of the problem. Just let them enjoy a few years of being kids. Edit. FFS. Was chatting with him at the end of the workday. Apparently they are using the tax refund they assume they are getting and the whole family is going to Mexico for spring break. Fuck. I told him to sell his truck or find a cardboard box to live in. When you are part of MLM company and you own your own business. Bonus points for using guilt. Edit. MLM is multi-level marketing company. You just don't get it. They're gonna make so much money after they invest the initial $5,000 in inventory. It's just gonna roll in. No work required. At all. They're just so much smarter than us average Joes. Independent business owner. Brand new car. No savings. Putting things on credit because they don't have money for it. Worked as a wireline engineer in Oklahoma briefly and wow, this mo is so prevalent it's scary. They'd get a job as an operator and have a brand new 2015 Hellcat by the 2nd week. I'm from Oklahoma, and I can confirm lol. I have a lot of friends who make 6 figures in the oil biz. They are always broke. I tried to teach a friend how compound interest works, and how putting all your money in depreciating assets like pickup trucks and ATVs will make you poor. He called me a nerd and told me to shut up. He has hundreds of pairs, seriously, of Oakley sunglasses. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to tell us if you liked or disliked the video. Subscribe to us for more personal financial advices.